We weren't. Alright guys, I know it's not a normal night for me to be streaming. Let me turn down the music a little bit. Oh, but, well, okay. Let me rephrase that. It's a normal night for me to be streaming if we're doing like a game stream, but shit happened today that we have to talk about because there's a lot of insanity out there. Like, boy, a lot of things have been happening in the last 48 hours revolving around Gamergate and Sweet Baby Inc. and Alyssa Mercante and all this other stuff, so I want to go ahead and cover some of this tonight. I know Smash is streaming right now. I know I'm sure there's plenty of other people covering this too, so we'll kind of hit the highlights here briefly and get into some other stuff that is more Sweet Baby Inc. related as well. Because as far as timing goes, I feel like some of this stuff has to be connected, even if it doesn't, you know, make sense as far as like coincidence and all other stuff. Sorry, I am very out of it. We just got home from Christmas shopping and dinner and stuff. I took a quick shower and I hopped on here, so let's go ahead and address the proverbial elephant in the room, Alyssa Mercante. Now, I've been on record many times saying that I think people need to stop talking about Alyssa, and I still hold to that opinion. I think she is a net negative as far as the conversation goes around anything. There's absolutely no reason to bring this woman up at this point. She no longer works at Kotaku. All she is doing is essentially being a bottom feeder, kind of like David Jaffe has expressed his own desire to be, where essentially he's like, I'm just going to pick up the crumbs of what's left over from these YouTubers and content creators. Essentially, that is where Alyssa is at right now. Alyssa Mercante is essentially a bottom feeder who is just trying to cling to relevance by pissing people off. And the funny thing about that is, in most cases, I think most people have wisened up to it. Like I said, I have barely covered her in the last 3 months because, quite frankly, she's not worth the time. She's not relevant. She's not important. She's not somebody that has any profound effect on the video game industry, and she's not covering the video game industry, expressly, because she's no longer at Kotaku, which is one of the 3, 4 maybe top video game media companies in the world. So her opinion just doesn't mean dick anymore. But I have been saying for a while, both on Discord, on my live streams, and my videos, leave her alone. Not that I have any pity for the woman. She's scum. But leave her alone because all you're doing is giving her more fodder, more attention. And eventually it has come back to start to bite people in the ass. And I don't think this is going to cause, like, Smash JT any long-term damage. I think legally he's probably fine. He's got a very good lawyer. Alyssa has no case. But it just, I don't know if it's worth, like, for some of these people, if covering her is worth the drama, worth the stress and the headache that it creates. Maybe in his case, Smash is up for it. In his case, in that case, kudos, man, go for it. But I think for most of us, she is just an insufferable, like, worthless person to cover. There's just nothing there to talk about. But long and short of it is, she won't go away. And now this lawsuit that she has been allegedly filing for months and months and months, this defamation suit or harassment or whatever her claim is, it's complete BS. But essentially it's, you guys have been harassing me, stalking me, doxing me, all these crazy ass things, when she keeps putting herself out there as the center of attention, day in and day out, like nonstop. You could go to my bookmarked tweets right now, and somebody shared a screenshot from, what's the date today? Today is the 11th, from like a week ago, where she's got her butt cheeks out with a guy like smacking her on the ass, and took a photo of it and put it online. Tell me that's not you seeking attention, Alyssa. Like, that is you 100% seeking attention online. So again, I don't think she has a case, but she is moving forward with legal action, allegedly against Smash JT. So we'll just read the recap real quick from Phantom Pulse, and then we'll let Smash, explain it in his own words, because he has his own website, own article, and his own video that we'll take a look at in a minute. So we'll go ahead and go full screen for this. Man, I'm not kidding, guys. I was debating doing an indie game live stream or just making a couple of videos. And then as this stuff started happening today, I'm like, okay, well, this will have to serve in place of a video for tomorrow. So it is what it is. Only so many hours in the day. All right. Alyssa Mercante sues Smash JT for stochastic terrorism, defamation, and more. Now, the funniest thing is, as you go through the list of things The stochastic terrorism, I think, is like the last thing in the list. So it seems that they wanted to put their biggest guns up top. Like, this is the thing we're going to really try to go after him for. And we'll just put all this other crap down below and see if any of it sticks, right? So, former Kotaku senior editor, and this former editor thing is very important. Alyssa Mercante filed a lawsuit against Smash JT in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York for stochastic terrorism, defamation, bias-related violence or intimidation, which is laughable, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and tortious interference. Quite a laundry list she's got going on there. Mercante shared the lawsuit to social media, which was filed by her lawyers Lane A. Haygood, Don McGowan, and J. Remy Green. Funny thing is, I'll go ahead and spoil this one for you guys. One of her attorneys, let me see if I've got the tweet brought up here. Not this one. No. I'm going to ruin it for myself here. Damn, I don't have the tweet saved. Okay. Well, in the thumbnail here, one of the people that's defending her, let's just say is another one of these men cosplaying as a woman, it would seem. So it's very obvious that these are the kind of people that she would rally to, right? That she would try to rally around her to defend her. Hey, Lugia. What's up is Alyssa's insane, but that's nothing new. So it says she shared the lawsuit to social media. She and her lawyers specifically alleged that Smash JT defamed her by claiming that she sucks D for money, something that she herself has tweeted out before. And again, whether you want to say it's a joke or not is irrelevant. You could say that half the things you say online are a joke, or, you know, in Minecraft or whatever. You know, at some point, it's up for interpretation. And the fact that she has said it, you know, without any sort of like explanation, and then has also claimed that she is a former sex worker, it's like, okay, well, so you're talking about doing certain acts for money, and then you were also a former sex worker. Like, come on. Acts tough and grasses people for nothing. Yeah, Tekla, honestly, the thing about it is, if she had filed this months ago, let's say after somebody allegedly had doxed her, right? And again, I disavow doxing anybody. Somebody allegedly doxed Alyssa Mercante months and months ago after all this stuff kicked off, and she had to be a complete, you know, narcissistic twit and get herself in the middle of all this stuff and make it all about her. Okay, disavow that. Nobody should dox anybody. But then she should have filed the lawsuit then and there. She waited until after she left Kotaku, claims that she left of her own volition, then, you know, wants to say now that she got fired because of this anti-Semitism, which we'll get into in a minute, which is absolutely hilarious. It's just insane. So it says the lawyers accused that Smash JT made factually false statements about her with actual malice because his quoted statements are statements which impugns the chastity. I know it's a legal term, sort of, that when they're saying things like chastity, but it's really funny to use that word with Alyssa. And accuse her of the commission of a crime of moral turpitude, to wit, prostitution under New York Penal Law 230. Under New York Civil Rights Law 77, is there are defamatory per se and special damages need not be pled. Claims in the suit that JT is the reason Kotaku was forced to part ways with her. Yeah, but she still has tweets up that contradict this. She admittedly claims she left on her own terms. 100%. That's the thing. It's like she started off by saying that she was leaving. I'm choosing to leave. I'm choosing to leave. Right? That's what she said. But it's like now she's all like, oh, because of this, he's ruining my ability to get a job. You can't, it doesn't work that way. You can't on one hand say I chose to leave of my own volition because I want to save face and not make a big deal about the fact that I was, you know, shit canned essentially, and then come out and say, no, he orchestrated an anti-Semitic hate mob. No, sorry. A mob that accused me of being anti-Semitic, something she actually was being. But again, I don't care about anti-Semitism as far as a term. It's like hate speech or anything else. I don't care what labels you put on somebody. I truly don't. What is the content of what they're saying? What is the context in which they're saying it? These things matter. Terminology, whatever you want to call something, I couldn't care less about. Let's just, let's get to the rock bottom of what they're actually saying and why they're saying it. But again, she wants to say that the right-wing, alt-right, you know, they want to call everybody like Nazis, right? All these gamer Nazis did a hate mob against her and accused her of being anti-Semitic, as if alt-right Nazis would care that you're anti-Semitic, and that's what got her fired from Kotaku. It's insane. It's absolutely illogical, at face value. There's just nothing there. There's nothing to it. So it says, They added that nevertheless, as a direct and proximate result of the false statement by Tarzia, Alyssa Mercante has suffered the following non-exclusive list of damages: injury to her her professional reputation, loss of status and goodwill at her job, loss of status and goodwill in the industry she covers. She's still going to the Game Awards. She's still going to have a picture of her and Jeff Keighley at the Game Awards together like she does every single year. This is completely BS. She's got in her Twitter bio, guys, in her freaking Twitter bio, Alyssa Mercante, soon at the Game Awards. Okay? This woman is insane. Hey, Natsuno, Austin. Yeah, Austin, that's the thing that I'm really questioning. Like, using the term chastity, maybe it has legal meaning in a different context. But the woman is like, how the heck are you late? Dude, I'm late. Of course, this isn't a scheduled stream. This is one of these things where I'm like, I'm tired. We were out late with the kids getting them done with Christmas shopping for each other. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna do a live stream whenever I get it ready. It's super impromptu tonight, guys. So, that being said, so yeah, this loss of status and goodwill at her job and in the industry she covers. How can you prove that? She's still going to the freaking Game Awards. Injury to her personal reputation, of which she personally has again claimed that she's a former sex worker. So how can you say that him pointing out what you have said personally is loss or injury to your personal reputation when it's things you've admitted to doing? Loss of economic opportunity, loss of income, and mental anguish. Well, I believe that she's mentally anguished, but I don't think it's caused by any one person. I think it's caused by her or whatever trauma she went through in her past. Next, Mercante claims that Smash GT harassed her by engaging in a course of conduct that has reasonably put her in fear of physical injury. Now, again, how do you prove that? Again, we talked about the doxing before, right? Which, again, I disavow. Don't dox people. Don't put their personal addresses out there. But how do you prove that he has put her in fear of physical injury? She has never once been attacked. To my knowledge, I don't think anybody has publicly gone up to her and verbally addressed her because of any of this stuff in the last year. Nobody has been sending things to her address. Nobody has been like, I don't understand how they can possibly claim that she is in reasonable fear of personal injury, physical injury. Under New York civil rights law, Alyssa Mercante states upon information and belief that his selection of her for harassment is based on his belief or perception regarding Alyssa Mercante's race, color, gender, age, and or orientation. This is the woman who spends all of her time online attacking middle-aged white men. She has singled him out or talked about him and Grums. And again, somebody else that I've criticized. I love that these people act like, you know, we're all in one giant pool together and we're all the same. I've criticized plenty of people on my, you know, proverbial side of this entire thing. But she has gone after these men for being white, for being middle-aged, balding, whatever her. Again, the ageism and sexism has been coming 100% from Alyssa Mercante, first and foremost. So it's absolutely laughable that this woman thinks that he has gone after her because of her race, color, gender, age, and or orientation. No, she can't stand it. I mean, for a while, I think she was getting off on it, but now it's like she's enjoying it through the pain, you know, if that makes sense. Because of the fact that this is somebody who, she enjoyed being the spotlight, you know, having all the attention, and then she got shit canned from Kotaku, and now she's trying to pretend that she's got like this, you know, big chip on her shoulder and she doesn't have to worry about what people think about her. But personally, I think she's like, you know, that video that came out of that chick that just did 100 guys in one day, and she looks completely broken and her eyes are red, and she's all talking about how she was like, it's like an out-of-body experience, like this dissociative state situation. That's, I think, essentially where Alyssa is now. She's pretending like she's big and tough. Now she wants to go cry victim, and it's like, I don't think she has a clue in hell what she's doing. I think she's just sputtering at this point. Yeah, Austin, it's really hard to claim that you're in fear for personal injury when you're out there trying to get people to fight you, and not even fight you. Veridark, Mara Jade, all these other YouTubers who said that they would fight her in an organized match. She's like, no cameras. We're going to go meet in a back alley somewhere. If you're in reasonable fear for your physical, like your health and your life, why would you tell people to go meet you in like a back street area? I mean, come on. Hey, Guitar Man. Yeah, dude, honestly, This is completely insane. Yeah, then they accuse Smash JT of intentionally inflicting emotional distress on her. Tarzia has engaged in extreme and outrageous conduct. Well, okay, he flaps his arms around maybe a little too much. Maybe he's a little more flamboyant, but I don't think he's extreme and outrageous. No, I'm just kidding. Not only has he committed individually the torts set forth in this complaint, but his conduct has touched off a firestorm that has resulted in Alyssa having to daily face unwanted attention online from malefactors, both in public and private messages. This woman, oh my god, this woman goes out of her way every single day to tell people to suck her D, to, basically suck her nuts, to kiss her ass, all these things. Inserts herself into conversations she's not part of, goes and watches these guys' content, screenshots it, shares it on Twitter for her hate mob, to then go after these people. And she's pretending that she is facing unwanted attention online, as if it's entirely manufactured by anybody else, not herself. Holy crap. This has always been Tarzia's intent. He knew before making a single statement about Mercante that some of his viewers would take it too far, and he made the statements he did, understanding and believing this type of conduct would result in ads. How? How could he know that? How? Okay. I've been told by a few people now that I'm very reasonable, that I have a very much not a middle of the road approach, but like not a fence sitter, but more of like I have my own nuanced take on a lot of things, and I try to be reasonable. And if one of you guys decided to be completely insane and go to somebody's house and attack them over some video I made just being a reasonable, well-adjusted person, criticizing them, I am not responsible for that. There's no way that I can hold myself responsible, or that I'd be held legally in court responsible for that. How can you claim that Smash JT can actually cause somebody to go do something insane when he has never once advocated for any sort of violence? Like nothing. Oh, Austin, in the, I didn't want to use the actual document that she shared because in the document she doxes Smash JT, puts his personal address out there. So I didn't want to go through her own document. But what she has in the article, sorry, not in the article, in the filings, is, hang on a second. I don't think he's got it here. I think Smash has it on his website. Let me check his out. I think he's got it in his article. No, not watch. Back. This stuff right here, I think. No, he doesn't. I saw it somewhere. Damn. I don't know where I saw it before. She can't prove that he knew? Yeah, there's no evidence. Absolutely not. She tells tweets up claiming she voluntarily left Kotaku. So she hasn't even deleted those, right? Her receipts are when he says that he wants to root these people out of the gaming industry. I saw people sharing these earlier. Him saying, back when he started Kotaku Detected, that these people need to be rooted out of the gaming industry, that they need to not be given positions of, power and all this stuff. That's what she puts out in her claim, that he's doing something malicious, violent, trying to incite violence against her. That's what it essentially comes down to. Nothing advocating for violence, nothing advocating for anything having to do with like going to her house, attacking her directly. It is all purely conjecture at this point. Let me see. Engaging in a course of conduct that has put her in fear of injury. Let me see here. Fourth accusation is that he engaged in tortious interference with contract. It states that his harassment campaign detailed above intentionally sought to run Alyssa out of the video game journalism industry. Well, unless you can get a statement from Kotaku saying, we fired her because Smash JT told us to, how the hell can you prove that? Jeff Tarzia's harassment was unlawful and tortious. His unlawful harassment was intended to interfere with her employment. He promoted the commentary by streamer Destiny related to Mercante's support of Hassan Piker, which led to people accusing Mercante of anti-Semitism. Here's the deal. Here's what's really biting her in the ass. And this is why I find it funny, that she has to bring in the anti-Semitism part of this, guys. Because I hate the term anti-Semitism. There are people who hate Jewish people. I don't hate Jewish people. There are people who criticize Jewish people or the Israel state. I can accept that. I don't mind people asking questions and having issues with individual people for individual actions that they've taken. So when the blanket term anti-Semitism, I think, is just a waste. It's a blanket term like anything else. So what happened with her, with Hassan Piker, with Twitch, with them losing their ad revenue or their ads being paid for by certain companies who pulled ads from Twitch, again, the ADL going after them, and I hate the ADL as well, was Alyssa Mercante, sucking the proverbial D of Hassan Piker after he was, platforming people who were actual terrorists, the Houthi pirates, all these people. And then, of course, him and his friends that were all like rating people on how good or how bad you are by how Muslim you are versus how Jewish you are. Again, these are where the claims of anti-Semitism come from. Nobody on the right-wing, moderate right, alt-right, Gamergate Nazi side of things would go crying to Kotaku and saying, your employee is anti-Semitic. That would never happen. If Kotaku was worried about anti-Semitism, it's because the ADL contacted them, not because gamers contacted them. You're not going to hear gamers complaining about shit, okay? When it comes to insults or being mean to people because of their race or their gender, gamers don't care. They're the most thick-skinned group of people on the planet, for the most part. So, again, her trying to claim that Smash JT somehow created a firestorm of people because he, promoted the commentary of Destiny, who I know for a fact Destiny probably wouldn't give Smash JT, like, the time of day. Like, Destiny is completely, like, he's in his own realm. He's on his own island over there. But saying that that is what led to her getting fired is absolutely bonkers. She's been deleting tweets, roughly 30 of them. Oh, I didn't even know that. That's just consequences for her professional. Yeah, and I don't think it has to do with any one thing. I don't think it's because of anti-Semitism or whatever it is you want to call it. I think it's purely because of just how bad she has acted the last 6 months, 8 months in this entire situation. Look, she's a representative of a media company. Sure, they might be pretty unhinged. Kotaku is definitely... Nobody takes them seriously. Like, less than people take IGN seriously. However, she still has to have a somewhat professional appearance when she's doing this job, or she's not going to have a job. It's that pure and simple. There's certain boundaries that I think she has crossed, and here's the craziest part. I've said before, she wants to criticize people for being middle-aged white men. This girl is probably only like a couple of years younger than me. This woman is in her mid-30s easily, and as you'll see in a couple of videos coming up here, she's a complete, like, Gen Z wannabe lunatic. And there's, unfortunately, the most cringe video you guys will ever see in your entire life. We're going to play for you in just a few minutes here. One of those, as Stuttering Craig put it, I saw it, so now you have to see it. Let's see it. Then it accuses him of stochastic terrorism and or prima facie tort. It claims that Smash JT stoked harassment by his followers, that stoking is by design. New York, in this court, she recognized a residual liability tort for stochastic terrorism, where a person engaged in a targeted pattern of harassment directed blah blah. Basically, it's just more of the same, guys. There's just nothing to it. The only thing that I find funny about all of it is that it took this long for her to file it. This is the same woman. She sent him a cease and desist. And Ron Coleman, his attorney, just threw it back in her face and said, piss off, basically. This is nothing. Grum's pointing out what lawsuit cites Wikipedia as a source. You're not even allowed to cite it in a high school paper. And of course, apparently they used Wikipedia's Gamergate harassment campaign as a source in the... But not surprising, because again, you see here Alyssa Mercante here from November of 7th this year, when she said, work news after exactly 2 years, I decided to leave Kotaku in my role as senior editor. Again, saying that she left on her own volition, also kissed my ass. Again, very professional. Not her at all trying to stoke up, issues online. Born in 1990? Yeah. So I'm 38. She's 34 years old. Bad look for a mid-30s woman to be acting the way she is. Pretty pathetic, to be honest. Vera Dark saying, I read through her drivel and it's crazy. I've never read through something so void of substance that makes ridiculously impossible long shots for defamation. In the end, it just reads like a ChatGPT complaint. I smell an anti-slap motion incoming. Well, it's not just ChatGPT. Because like I said, I'm going to bring up the bookmarks here. There's one of the guy grabbing her ass, and I'm trying to avoid that one because I'm sure that YouTube's not going to love that one. Let me see if I can dance around it. We'll just scroll past it really fast. So you've got Kata says, Alyssa, stop objectifying me. Also Alyssa, and then you see right there. Don't need to really focus on that too much. Her attorney. Where is the one of her? Here we go. Jay Viper has this one. Says, the lawyer, by the way, they don't bring their best. And this is actually from the lawyer's website. And this is J. Remy Green, a partner. Honorifics, pronouns, mix, professor, reverend, they, their, them. Guys, this is not a joke. This is legitimately a man, presumably cosplaying as a they, them, zer non-binary person, who works for the law firm that's representing Alyssa Mercante in this complete waste of a lawsuit. But again, it's going to cost Smash JT money. Hopefully, I'm not sure in this situation if he could get her to pay legal fees, which would be absolutely hilarious if after all this is said and done, Ron Coleman asks for her to pay legal fees. But yeah, this person is one of the ones who works at the law firm representing Alyssa Mercante. I mean, I'm not shocked, to be honest. Soy boy and pronouns are not supposed to be used as titles, but apparently they are. I find it even funnier that it's not even like soy boy. It is... Well, here's the thing. Alyssa wants this to be her legal representative because allegedly, according to Alyssa's own words, she cares very deeply about underprivileged minority class people, underrepresented communities, blah, 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 queer, non-binary persons. That's what Alyssa has been banging the drum of for months, is that these are her people. So it wouldn't surprise me she goes to a law firm where one of the three partners is a person of this persuasion. But I just find it funny that their honorifics are mix, prof, as in professor, I assume, and reverend. Like, holy crap. You don't mind the looks, but the titles? I mean, it's a whole bad ball of wax. Yeah, no, Austin, that's 100% what it is. And the fact that in there, and again, we're gonna play Smash JT's video. We'll watch his video on this because I don't want to scroll past anything that has his information on it. The fact that she put his address in there and then said, I'm going to hide my address because I fear for my safety. But here's his address for you guys at the court to get a hold of him. They don't need you to do that. I'm sure you can probably pretty easily get him his paperwork filed. She did it intentionally to dox him, okay? So we'll watch at least part of this video. It's about 14 minutes long. And then there's some other stuff I want to get into too as well.
Filed a lawsuit against me. Why? Because I dare cover her among everything else that I talk about on this channel, but for some reason she feels like she's special and she shouldn't be talked about. Yeah, apparently after reading through...
Oh, I do want to mention one thing before we actually watch this video. One of the things that I watched part of this earlier. I don't think I watched the whole thing. Something about all this that I find insane is that she's probably deleting these tweets right now. She has been complaining, her and a lot of people like her, for a long time now, for months, that YouTubers are making money off of her. Making money off of talking about her, off of, the insane things that she said, the articles that she writes. This lawsuit is nothing more than her throwing a shit fit because she's petty and jealous and angry at people like Smash JT or Hypnotic for covering her and actually profiting off of it, whereas she is essentially unemployed. I mean, she recently said that she was going to use this as fodder for her Twitch chats, that she was going to talk about all this stuff on her live streams on Twitch. So again, doing nothing different than what Smash has done for the past 6-8 months.
Some of this 54-page lawsuit that gets sent my way, that's about all I can get out of it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT.
Did he say 54 pages? I looked at this earlier. I kind of skimmed it, but I didn't realize it was 54 pages long. I could have misheard that.
Already contacted Ron Coleman and do plan on speaking with him tomorrow about this. But as of right now, all we have to go by is this frivolous document that just goes on and on forever. And within it, calculated moves attacking me and my family, showing off my entire address and giving it out there to her thousands of legions of fans to
Yeah, so here's the thing. This was the original post. He's like, how's the lawsuit going? She's like, it's going great, Jeff, with this montage she put together. And then this link here. People are like, well, it's a public filing. Sure. A lot of court cases are public filings. But what I found weird is that this was just a link to download the lawsuit, right? I don't know if this actually indicates that it has been filed. I didn't look at the lawsuit, so I don't know if it was actually submitted to a court yet. So essentially, before you actually even say that this is a public filing, if it hasn't been sent to the court, then it's technically not public, and all she did was take this from her lawyers, if you want to call these lawyers, these axe lawyers, and put it out there for the public to see. So I don't even know if this is legal, what she did. Again, I don't pretend to be a lawyer. I'm not one of these LawTube people. But I would be curious to find out, like, if it hasn't been filed with the court yet, is this courtlistener.com? Is this a link from a court? Or I don't understand, like, the thought process behind a lot of this, Sounds like Paul Tassi when he was spurging on Star Wars Theory. Oh, the funniest one was Jason Schreier is just like one of the worst people ever. And I had never heard him talk until a video that I watched yesterday. And it's like, holy crap, the the way he speaks and his mannerisms completely fits his personality online now.
Share it around. Tell everyone what page my address is on.
Yeah, and then of course you see that complete and utter douchebag, the guy who has like the hammer gifts for beating Grumps to death that he puts out there from his Discord server. Like, check out page 7, bro. And it's again about the fact that they have his public address. And mind you, this is a criminal. This is a person that has been arrested for vandalism. I guess, I don't know if it was during like the 2020 riots or BLM protests or what he is. People say he's with Antifa. The dude is just a complete disgusting degenerate. But again, I'm not going to make any claims. I just know people have said that he's like an Antifa soy boy or whatever.
What page my address is on and dox the hell out of me. But good luck with that, because that's what everyone does on YouTube. You want to take away the ability for people to have opinions on people, you're gonna have a bad time. The lawsuit, which spans 54 pages, accuses me of... All right, here we go.
I just love that they feel like, okay, I'm trying in my head, I'm trying to think about this from like a perspective of a judge, somebody who's probably over the age of 50, couldn't give two rats asses about like video games as a whole. The first opening statement to this says, modern video game enthusiasm is marked by the presence of semi-organized, outrage-driven campaigns for harassment like 2014's Gamergate. You could end up talking to a judge who doesn't have a freaking clue what Gamergate even is. So, like, how is it even... This just seems like such a freaking joke of a lawsuit. Like, I'll try something to smash. Jay, it wouldn't surprise me if he does. Although, he won't. The dude's a pussy. Like, if I'm being honest about it. But he will encourage people to do it. If you want to talk about people actually encouraging people to do real violence, I've thought for a while that somebody needs to jump into this guy's Discord server and see what these people are actually saying, because there's a legitimate amount of sick individuals that follow that Kate Bush's husband account, as well as Alyssa Mercante and everyone else, who are actually violent people, who have actually committed violent crimes, and who will try something now that they have his address.
Stoic terrorism, defamation, bias-related violence or intimidation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and tortious interference.
Dude, Lucia, I've community noted that guy before for his, the sharing the violent gifts, wishing hammer, beating, basically without even saying it, he has indicated that he wants Endymion to be beat to death by hammers, and then he'll be like, oh, totally unrelated, which hammer would you use? And so, of course, I flagged it and said this is a coded incitement of violence, which is against Twitter's terms of service, which it 100% is. Like, it is completely against their terms of service. And unfortunately, he's got enough simps, enough of his little army, online army that are in community notes, that they keep these notes from going through so people don't see them, unfortunately.
But let's be clear with what's really going on here. The heart of this issue isn't the frivolous nature of the lawsuit, but in reality, how Mercante has found a way to weaponize it and legally dox me. Because now it's an official lawsuit. She officially put information in it, so it's public available information, so she can share it out there with people. except for one thing. I posted to Twitter. I also find
Hey,
it
Susano.
interesting how she feels unsafe posting her own address in a legal document, but didn't have a problem including mine.
So yeah, here's the thing about this weird posting the physical address or even including it in the document. I'm gonna open up a new browser because I was looking this up earlier and I was trying to determine to what extent this is actually doxing, given the fact that it's a legal filing, right? Well, you go, it's a legal filing, then it can't technically be doxing because the address is relevant, given the fact that it's going to be, submitted in a court of law, and so blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Okay. Again, like I said, I'm not a lawyer, but I was curious, how is it not doxing, right? So let me see if I can find what I typed out earlier. In a We'll just let the AI answer this one. And again, it's not great. Okay. here's a nice not doxing as part of the court records. Okay, so here's the thing, Susano. What I have been able to determine from a few different websites that I was reading from, like, is it Kaspersky? I can't remember what it's called. There's this situation that arises where essentially, true, if it's part of a court filing, it's not doxing unless the intent is there to create harassment or intimidation through revealing the address, and if the address has no connection to the court case itself. So, for example, in her filing, she says, oh, well, I'm afraid to put my address because harassment and violence. But here's his address so you guys can contact him. Essentially, she could have redacted his address and provided it to the court without putting it in there. It's not important for the filing itself. Therefore, it could be interpreted by the court as her attempt to dox him, to intimidate him, even though it's part of a public filing, right? A lot of people strike channels to get at this information. That is also true. Right, Suzanne, that's 100% what I'm saying. So, yeah. Essentially, did you need to include his address in the filing? If she didn't need to include it and chose to anyways, that is an attempt at intimidation and is not legally allowed. Therefore, it's doxing. Again, this whole thing with community notes on Twitter, everyone thinks community notes is the best thing ever. I community noted Alyssa Mercante because she is in direct violation of the terms of service of Twitter. She put his public address into a court filing unnecessarily and then shared that document on Twitter, which essentially doxes him again on Twitter. That is a violation of terms of service on Twitter. Does anybody care? No, I submitted a report. Twitter doesn't care. They won't actually do anything about it. But here we have this system called community notes that's supposed to actually do something, and it doesn't function. Oh yeah, Natsuno, I'm not worried about the case itself. The case itself is going to be an easy slam dunk for him. But the reality is, it's a question of whether or not anything happens to her legally. Because Elon doesn't know who she is, Natsuno. Start writing. But see, here's the thing. I don't care about her opinions about, like, if she's anti-Semitic or not. I really don't care. Her opinions alone mean nothing to me. This is the shit where it's like, I don't talk about Alyssa because her opinions are irrelevant. But now she's actively going after somebody and putting their physical address out there to a bunch of lunatics online. You know? Yeah. No, Susano, I 100% agree with you there. That's I'm in the same boat. I can make my own assumptions or guesses, but at this point it's really like I'm just trying to use common sense and what I can research to say there's no way that she needed to have that in there. Natsuno, unfortunately, Elon is not he's not available at anyone's beck and call. Who's the respondent? I believe Smash JT, isn't that how this works? Let me see. I did not want to bring up the document because of the fact that it's got his address on there. But let me pull this up in a separate tab. Because I know she hasn't deleted it. So let me do the horrible thing I don't want to do, and I'll look her up on Twitter. Even though she's got me blocked. She's had me blocked since this all kicked off at the very beginning. Oh, so he is in California. She's in New York. He's in California. I don't even know that she shouldn't quote unquote have a platform. What I think is, now that she has broken terms of service on Twitter, there should be a punishment for it. You put his address in a legal document where that you didn't need to, and then you shared it to all of your followers on Twitter to where they all now have his access to his address. That's doxing, limits his rights. Well, here's the thing though. It's not a business address. Again, the thing that keeps it from being legal doxing in a court case is if it's a business address versus a personal address. This is his personal home address. Has nothing to do with his YouTube channel because he is again, yeah, sure, he works out of his home, but I don't know how he does his taxes and everything else. American lawsuit culture is crazy. It really is, Tekla. It is really bonkers.
And sharing the document publicly to her legion of followers who actively hate me. Weird. And I cut the part saying the parties. Plaintiff Alyssa Mercante is a resident of the state of New York and the County of Kings. Alyssa Mercante's address is redacted here within due to threats made against her as the basis of this lawsuit. But such information will be revealed to the court in camera. She may be served with any process through her counsel of record identified below.
So, Austin, I think there's a chance, I don't know, there's sometimes court cases they'll do Zoom and all that, right? But I think there's a chance that they could possibly do it via teleconference or whatever, or that he could have somebody in New York. I don't know where Ron Coleman is. I think he's in New York, isn't he? Like, he wouldn't necessarily have to be present if his attorney was present there for him. I don't know. Again, I've never had to go to court. Thank God. So I don't know how that would all work.
Which, okay, understandable if that's how you feel, but then you give my address right after this and don't think that the same thing's going to happen to me when you share it out to your legion of haters that hate me? I mean, we're not going to really find any logic here because we're talking about Alyssa. Sure enough, we have this person on Twitter by the name of Airbagged that posted, check out page 7, bro, and shared it to who they have thousands of followers and somebody who is a known troll on the internet trying to skirt the rules. And
I love that Smash calls him a known troll. Maybe he's just trying to be careful. This guy's a piece of trash. This guy's a human scumbag. This dude here is completely disgusting. Well, Shinotsky, I'm finding it very weird. We're going to get into this if I stream a little bit later. The timing on all this is very strange because we have this situation over. Let me exit full screen here a second. We have the situation here where we've got, of course, we've got Alyssa Mercante filing a lawsuit against Smash. This just happened after a couple days ago. We got Sweet Baby Inc. emailing and contacting Gothic Therapy for covering their most recent game coming out, and basically telling them to pipe down, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of weird coincidence going on, right? A lot of strange things are going on all at once. Is Kate Bush's husband a bad mofo? No. He's my height. He's 5'6". He's not intimidating at all. He's a complete and utter soy boy. He's got like this just pathetic face, horrible hair, these shitty tattoos all over him because he probably couldn't afford a good tattoo in his life, and looks like a complete crackhead. But he's like a little Antifa army, soy boy army kind of thing. Not a bad mofo at all. What the problem with Kate Bush's husband is that this person has a legion of completely mentally deranged people that follow him, who are probably violent people. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's all assumptions at this point. But he said that, Ron Coleman said that they've got a really good case. So, yeah, no, they've been digging into Sweet Baby, though, for a while. So it doesn't surprise me one bit. Yeah. Utter, complete soy boy. There are pictures of him floating around online where look, here's the thing. Plenty of guys have dressed in drag for costumes and Halloween for jokes and all this stuff. For a couple of years, growing up, I dressed in drag for Halloween thinking it was funny, but it's whatever. This man has regularly gone out dressed in like female waifu anime costumes. I guess he's gone to like Europe and backpacked around. The story is he's like an AT&T employee and he works from home and he lives in his parents' like mansion somewhere in like, because he's like a trust fund kid or something. It's just the guy is utter pure creepy patheticness. It's just that terrible. John Phipps isn't on Twitter anymore. John Phipps ditched out like a long time ago. We're talking about Magitech Dad, right? John Phipps, he noped out. Yeah, that Ron Coleman. He has a good track record.
Dox people here, and it's not a great look. And honestly, this is the exact expected outcome that I would look to see from someone like Alyssa Mercante, who aligns herself with people like this. Her reckless and honestly abhorrent act here has now put my entire family directly in harm's way, as she has now encouraged others to target me in real life. For someone who claims to fear for her own safety, this is some pretty strong hypocrisy at its finest. Not that I'd...
Yeah, I mean, punk rock isn't what it used to be either. But it is funny that, you know, what used to be fighting the system and you know, showing it to the, giving it to the man and all this kind of stuff, giving the system the middle finger, is now a bunch of like pathetic LARPing, malnourished, mentally ill people who are basically just, you know, they're just there for the machine. They're supporting the machine. Yes, this lady. Oh, she's been around a while. She's changed her look quite a few times. Ironically, the guy I was talking about, Kate Bush's husband, he's got the same kind of shitty tattoos Alyssa Mercante has, where they couldn't afford, obviously, to go get one good tattoo one at a time. And so they've just got like these patchwork tattoos all over them.
Expect anything less from her. The lawsuit itself is a blatant attempt to silence my work covering the gaming industry, and
raging
a clear
for the machine.
stream of jealousy over my success and my coverage at it. Among her claims, Mercante alleges that I defamed her by stating that she sucked D for money, accusing me of making factually
The old school gays knew now how to be bitches. I mean, you're not wrong there. Not wrong one bit.
false statement and actual malice. Her lawyer argues that this statement constitutes defamation per se under New York law, as it impugns her chastity and implies criminal activity.
I am smart, hot, slutty.
Slutty.
They also attribute her alleged damages, including harm to her professional reputation, loss of economic opportunities, and mental anguish, to my coverage.
And if you have a problem with that, come fight me. Physically.
Has anyone taken you up on that yet?
No, because they're all D's.
Yep.
Alyssa.
I really appreciate him going through the trouble of editing that, because that would have probably, you know, YouTube's live streams, even if you are not doing anything that shouldn't get you like demonetized for the stream or whatever, if they hear the wrong word in the wrong context, the automated thing just automatically kicks it to the curb and says, "Oh no, you can't be monetized." It's like, then you tell it to review it and it's fine, but it's like, yeah, taking the time to edit that's probably a smart move on his part. But no, honestly, this is the thing about this woman. She has spent the last 8 months intentionally provoking people, making herself the entire conversation. As a journalist, this is why she's always been a very shitty journalist. There are some people, and I've seen some things that she's written that weren't terrible. Actually, Smash was one of those people saying that she was a decent writer. I don't know if I'd say decent, but there are these people like Alyssa Mercante who don't know how to be journalists because they spend the entire time making themselves the story, nonstop, over and over and over again. That's literally all they do, is they're making themselves the story. Gets worse, yeah.
I don't know how else to tell you this, but this is from your Twitter. This is where my post was coming from. I felt...
And this is what I've talked about before. So, we've seen this before with Hassan Piker. People like this saying things like, oh, I want to do something to this person. Oh, I mean in Minecraft, right? In Minecraft, not in reality. It's like, I'm just joking. I don't know how you are supposed to be able to distinguish on the internet between joking and reality. So unfortunately, unless there's context that you already know, because you know the person, if this person says, I did this thing, well, you can either take it one of two ways. You can take it as them being sarcastic or make a joke, or you can take it literally. If anybody chose to take her this statement literally, that's on Alyssa. If you leave the option open, I say a lot of sarcastic shit online all the time because I don't mind if people take it literally or not, because I like to get a rise out of people. You know, I don't like clickbait. I don't like these stupid questions people asked it. You know, once it got monetized on Twitter, everyone's like, "Oh, what do you eat on your hot dog? Relish or..." It's like, stop regurgitating the same crap everybody else is. However, I do like to post funny shit and see how people respond. It's just I'm the youngest of 4 kids. I'm like, hey, I I like to poke the bear. That being said, you have to be willing, if you make a statement like this, for people to take it one of 2 ways: sarcastic or literal. If people took her literally here, that's on her. She presented them with the option to do so. So I don't understand how this is any sort of situation where she can use him saying she did this thing as some sort of slander, defamation. I don't get it. Oh, yeah, no, Kotaku, journalism as a whole is drying up. There's no money left. She probably does a bad job. Well, yeah, possibly. She needed 2 abortions in the last 5 years, apparently, or however long it's been. Probably just projecting what she did as a joke. I mean, that's a very real possibility. Think I do have a New York lawyer you can ask to cover this on YouTube? That's actually not a bad idea, because I'm waiting to see what comes out of his meeting with Ron Coleman tomorrow. I'm very curious to see what happens.
Like, if you put it out there, it's free reign for anyone to comment on it. I don't know how else to tell you this, but that's kind of how social media works. Another one of the many frivolous claims that they put in the suit states that I declared Kotaku to be everything wrong with the video game industry. And
you know, Austin, the funny thing about that, and this whole story that came out, that documentary about the OF chick who just recently was with 101 men in a day, and this guy did this documentary on her, talking to her about this, and she's all traumatized and stuff. And it just made me realize, somebody pointed it out, I think a few months ago, that in 30 years, 40 years, based on the numbers, half of our politicians, at least half of our female politicians, are probably going to have had OnlyFans accounts at some point in their early life. Like, it's a depressing thought that the future generations are going to have to deal with and contend with a lot of these this mentality that we're seeing. You know? I declare I'm everything right about video game industry. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a... You know, we are the media now. We are the journalists now. We are the gamers. That's all. Yeah. Laura Fryer's video about the games industry bubble. I'll have to look it up.
And continue to say that I created a petition at change.org to have Kotaku shut down, stating, "We demand accountability from Kotaku," and exhorting his viewers to join the movement to uphold the standards we as a community deserve in the video game industry.
I want to know right there, what in that statement could possibly be used to say, and because he said, I have this change.org petition, which, guys, you can make a change.org petition for anything. Legitimately, they made one for the Acolyte when Lucasfilm pulled the plug on that one and said, yeah, this show's shit, we're not going to renew it, right? And they got like 80,000 signatures from these losers who are like, oh no, this is the best show ever, we have to have it back, to sign this petition saying to bring it back. Did that bring the show back? Did a change.org petition shut Kotaku down? No. Like I've said before, I'll say it again. When I first started covering Smash, I think at that time he had like 30,000 subscribers and I had like 2. I criticized the change.org petition, not because I have any issue with him, but because I'm like, it doesn't do anything. My biggest issue with the petition itself was it can't accomplish anything because it's a petition. You can't physically shut down a company with a petition. It doesn't work. I understand the sentiment behind the petition, and that part I completely agree with. But the petition itself is just words on paper. There's nothing to it, right? So that being said, since there's nothing to it, how in God's name does him having a change.org petition have any effect on her job? How does it have any effect on her? Fred makes on almost every show, another Fred makes just to mess with me. Yeah, I mean, seriously, you can make a change.org petition for anything. Change.org petition, don't let people change their underwear more than once a day. I don't know. Oh no, Shinatsky, it doesn't surprise me. A lot of YouTubers were very sad when the Acolyte was not renewed.
And I read that and I'm like, yeah, What's the lawsuit here? What legal grounds do you have for this? You're allowed to make change.org petitions. You're allowed to tell people how you feel about things. And if I feel like this would make the game industry better, that's something you want to sue someone over? Her unhinged accusations don't stop there, though. Mercante claims I intentionally inflicted emotional distress by creating a firestorm of online attention that she says has resulted in daily harassment, which...
So, Power 1, Power Mini, yeah. Unless he's running Kotaku, he has no effect on her employment. No, 100%. So, guys, let's just take a walk down memory lane, okay? Do a little walk down memory lane. I'm going to use Google just because the results will be easier to grab. Actually, maybe we can get them on Brave browser. Somebody recommended a different browser to me. And I need to find a better search engine because I love using Brave for the actual web browser parts of it. But the, holy crap, my Brave is stupid. As I'm trying to use it, it's like blowing up to like 3 times the size it should be. Minimize properly, you damn thing. Oh my god. But the search engine for Brave kind of sucks. But I do like the built-in ad blocker and everything else. Let me see. Kotaku, Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do. That should be enough search words, right? Okay, here we go. Hey, Blu-ray. Here we go, guys. So, remember, all of this is about Smash JT organizing a destructive and hateful, mob of people to end her career and make her the victim of harassment and sexism and misogyny and everything else. Yeah. March 6th. March 6th is when this came out. Let me see here. Late last month, one of the company's consultants discovered a Steam group dedicated to, quote, detecting games that Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on. The purpose? To encourage people to avoid these games because the group had deemed the SBI was pushing a, quote, woke agenda by working toward greater diversity, equity, and inclusion. The Steam group now has more than 100,000. Yeah, it's like 500,000 now. Conversation around Sweet Baby Inc. has ignited a fundamentally misinformed, Gamergate-esque firestorm. Its employees have faced rampant harassment, that's a lie, as a direct result. Industry figures had to deny allegations that SBI comes in and completely their games. I spoke with several employees, told them what the company actually does, blah, blah, blah. Games industry has had its fair share of struggles lately, massive layoffs. Can't believe Suicide Squad came out back in March. Oh, it's... let me see here. March 5th, I managed to spend an hour or so in the Discord server before I was, of course, identified as a Kotaku journalist. Members shared posts referencing Feminist Frequency, founder Anita Sarkeesian. One image showed several pictures of the protagonist Eve. Again, ooh, scary stuff, right? So she wrote this article saying essentially that this was a whole nothing burger, going on and on defending SBI. Despite the intensity of the backlash over the past few weeks, it's business as usual for Sweet Baby Inc. Sure it is. Companies they work with haven't been scared off. They've actually offered advice and best practices on how to move forward. With that kind of support in their corner, sheer love for writing good stories, the team at Sweet Baby Inc. is determined to forge on and keep working, both announced and under wraps. Until this industry is more willing to openly discuss development processes, the lack of transparency will continue to be used as a straw man for bad faith arguments that characterize DEI as an imposition by nefarious, unseen forces rather than an effort to cultivate a more accurate reflection of the world around us. She started this shit back in March. Okay? And this was probably the nicest that she has been the entire time. This was just the tip of the iceberg. She then went on to talk to that guy from that farm sim game, completely misinterpret his words, make him seem like he was disavowing all these people. And then when he tried to get her to respond and change what she wrote, she's like, that's not my job. I'm not going to change this for you. Basically get lost. She has gone on to do all sorts of horrible things. And yet here she is saying essentially, yeah, Brave search results are awful, that she has been the victim this entire time. Absolutely insane. Shelf life of the average Kotaku reporter being in the outlet isn't that long. It's around 2 to 3 years. Well, Blu-ray, there's the thing. These people, yes, I'm going to be that racist, bigot, misogynistic, homophobe and say, you people. You people as in game studios.
To show someone how
Game
much you
studios.
care.
Games
It's
journalists,
like the tangible
I should
thing
say.
that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you. This many dollars worth.
That website is very important. It shows who's involved and what gamers should avoid buying. We need to promote that website more.
No, 100%, you're right. And back when I was covering more of this stuff, and thanks for the 5, Luigi, I appreciate it. Back when I was covering this stuff more and doing more investigative pieces, I would always be like keeping track of DEI detected and trying to like say, hey, now they're up to 200,000 people on Steam and go check out their website. The thing is, a lot of that has kind of quieted down to where, not that it's not worth covering, but it's more commonplace knowledge that a lot of people have. So while it's still doing important work, it's just that not as many new games are coming out. Like, okay, Gothic Therapy, and we'll talk about them in a minute, just discovered that Sweet Baby Inc. game. But it's just a reality that there's less of these games coming out, which is a good thing. The less attention that DEI Detected needs to have is a very good thing. Because it means that there's less games that are being put out that have this crap in them. Is the Japanese side really getting sick of it, though? I mean, I want to believe that. I really want to believe that. But, yeah, again, Shinatsky, what she failed to cover in her article was that this entire thing kicked off because an employee of Sweet Baby Inc. tried to have his Steam account taken down, his curator page removed. It wasn't just the curator page. If it was the curator page and they said, hey, this doesn't fit our platform, this goes against what we believe in, fine. Then Steam is just woke and that you can accept that. The dude tried to have Cabrutus Rambo's entire account taken away from him. That's a whole nother layer of evil, okay? Because you're not just talking about, oh, he's going to lose his video games. No, he's a paying customer who's going to lose thousands of dollars of his own money in his video game collection. So again, that's where this all started. But again, she's not going to cover that. Yeah, Susano, the issue is really, it's been everything, but now we've gotten to entertainment, and entertainment is like the last frontier, if you will. Well, it is good because the Japanese have been fairly passive in the last few years, so it is nice to see them speaking up about it. Actually, I'm friends with Mari, a YouTuber. She's on our Discord server, and she does mostly gaming stuff, but she's talked about how she wants to be more open about what's going on, but she is afraid to either not sound informed or, be offensive or whatever. It seems like Japanese people are a lot less likely to speak up because they don't want to offend. And I think that that's a good thing to a degree, but at some point you have to be willing to put yourself out there. It's just a matter of, if you're going to offend somebody, you can't control, you can't control how you're interpreted or perceived by everybody out there. Voice actors are a whole nother thing, because it seems like the voice acting industry is full of a bunch of insane, mentally ill people.
Apparently that only goes one way, because I could claim very easily the same with every time you talk about me and send your legion of fans over at me, but again, that road only goes one way with these people. She alleges that I targeted her based on her race, which is wild because she's Italian and so am I, so...
I was just thinking this to myself. Oh my god. At me, as somebody who's a quarter Sicilian, I'm like, I hate that Alyssa Mercante and I share some genetic history, some ethnic history, some cultural similarities, because, like, my grandfather came from Sicily in 1904 through Ellis Island. There's a chance our ancestors know each other. It's like, but here she is saying that Smash, who's also Italian, is targeting her because of her ethnicity. I didn't even think about that. Like, holy crap. Oh my god.
Wouldn't I be attacking myself if that's the case? The lawsuit also asserts that I engaged in tortious interference with her employment.
Well, Italian is an ethnicity and it's a nationality. It's like Irish. Irish is an ethnicity and a nationality. Then you've got English as the ethnicity, but British as the nationality. Italians are there. You can be ethnically Italian. It's just not like, the problem is that Italians, Irish, English, French, Germans, they're all white. you know. But yes, ethnically Italian, you're still white, but again, most Italians who live on the coast are far darker than most other Europeans. Are appalled at the cultural appropriation being done in the West. They're sick of it in response to the voice actors. I have started to notice more and more Asian YouTubers and people just generally speaking out against it. That is definitely a good thing. The hard part is, at least from the Chinese side of it, I'm white as snow because I'm only a quarter Sicilian and I'm also Irish and part Dutch, a little bit of French and other stuff in there. And I live in the coldest, grayest state in this entire, not coldest, but the grayest state in this entire country. There's only sun in my state like 4 months out of the year. So white is just the default setting. I actually get pretty brown if I'm out in the sun. Big things to understand was Anita was a consultant patient zero. Oh, for sure. No, that's where when I first, because I missed Gamergate once. When I first started going through this stuff back in February and March, I was like, this stuff I didn't know. I was busy. I was working. Yeah, China's a hell no on all this. Yeah. But again, China, the CCP, sends all this shit over here through TikTok and everything else. So it just sucks. It's like, while I want to say kudos to China, China-based, and then it's like China is only based because they're exporting all the woke shit here through apps like TikTok. So it's a double-edged sword.
Claiming my commentary and promotion of others' critiques had now somehow directly led to her job loss and contract buyout. So I'm only supposed to say nice things about people now? I can't criticize what people say and do and how I feel like it could.
All right, hang on a second. I got to look something up. Give me a second, guys, because this just got me thinking about something else. We're going to go back to Alyssa Mercante's Twitter timeline. I'm so sorry, guys. It is kind of nice, though, the being blocked, but still being able to see somebody's Twitter thread, Twitter posts. This is actually perfect. This is enough right here. This is all I need. Okay. So. What were we just hearing in this video? Let me go back and play about 10 seconds before. Where are we at here? 704.
So I'm only supposed to say nice things about people now? I can't criticize what people say and do and how I feel like it could impact their employment based off their actions?
Okay. So she wants to say, he says mean words about me, I lose my job at Kotaku. Keep that in mind. That's where her train of thought is at. Okay? Then you've got posts from her retweeting the guy who ended the life of the CEO of United Healthcare. Okay? Isn't that her criticizing somebody who did a job that she didn't like their job? Only in this situation, she's literally like lusting after the dude who went out of his way to execute somebody. Okay? Like legitimately went out of his way or got paid to do it. I think that this was an inside job and there's more to the story. Well, that's funny. She's screenshotting John Delarose or retweeting it. That's hilarious. Yeah, Alyssa's triggered as hell. Holy crap. Yeah, she has deleted some tweets. Luigi's Body 2024. You are killing people. No, I'm killing evil CEOs. So isn't that her criticizing the CEO of United Healthcare? I'm just curious. Smash can't criticize somebody who works at Kotaku, but it's okay for her to essentially cheer on this guy's death. Very interesting, right? Very yeah. Be better at your job, yeah. Would look into ESG, SEC, and acts like the DEI Act. They don't always have a say. Just that Zoe Quinn, in essence, got away with lying about... Yeah. Yeah, well, that's where it all started, because that's where the funding for Sweet Baby Inc. came from. What's his face? It's not Alovsky. What was his name? But yeah, the guy you're speaking of. He ended his life, and then they set up a foundation or whatever in his name, or some sort of fundraiser, some situation. And like I said, I got to go back. It's been a while since I covered that. And that money started going to independent studios and companies like Sweet Baby Inc. through companies like Weird Ghosts and Baby Ghosts. And that's where all this shit started. Alec Halavka. Halavka, I think it was. Yeah, well, Nathan Grayson's the one who's been running cover for her. He wasn't the one that ended his own life. But Nathan Grayson was one of these, and he still is. Nathan Grayson is still around. I think he's the one at Aftermath, another media site that he helped start. I think Luke Plunkett from Kotaku's over at Aftermath now too. I can't remember. But these guys are all still doing the same thing where they're completely like running defense for Alyssa, for Sweet Baby Inc., for all these other companies. So yeah, just the hypocrisy here of Alyssa Mercante is very, very, very interesting. That she can go out of her way to say, oh yeah, CEOs of companies like United Healthcare are evil and should probably have their lives ended. But you can't criticize my job over Kotaku because that's targeted harassment. People don't know as much that she's basically royalty. Yeah. No, it's very interesting. She has deleted some tweets, though. That's very interesting. Oh, here's a fun one, guys. Here's a fun one. On Monday's live stream, or maybe it was on last week, I talked about how crap, what's her twit face? Taylor Lorenz, the former Washington Post journalist who got fired because she's a complete loser idiot. She was a guest on this guy Daniel Spielberger's podcast on Spotify or Apple, I guess. No idea who this guy is. This dude looks, if I'm being honest, kind of ill. I don't know if he's like medically disabled or what, but he's got this really weird tight Sex and the City t-shirt and these what look like women's glasses, okay? So he's got a podcast. Alyssa Mercante was, I believe, the second person that he interviewed. The first person he interviewed was Taylor Lorenz. Taylor Lorenz, another journalist, so-called, who was also joyful and giddy when she was on Piers Morgan the other night over the ending of this United Healthcare CEO. Just pretty ironic, right? Pretty interesting. Zoe's adult. Oh my god. Yeah, no, Shinatsky, I'm good. I don't need to see that. Yeah, Taylor Lorenz is she's this complete lunatic. She went after libs of TikTok. She showed up at her front door with her mask on, trying to like. She's the one that doxed Chaya Raichik, the gal from libs of TikTok. So these people are all the same. It doesn't matter. They are all legitimately the same.
Or how, oh, I don't know, you contacted my wife, tried to get us divorced, tried to ruin my family life, and I dared tag Kotaku and said, hey, try to wrangle in your employees because they're kind of unhinged doing stuff like this. That's apparently on me now for daring to speak out about it. But the most ludicrous charge in all the accusations is the stoic terrorism. It's a term her legal team appears to be using to start some sort of legal new grounds. They are trying to argue that
look up Anita Sarkeesian testimonial on internet marketing guru Alex Mandossian's Mandossian. I'll have to look that up. Sarkeesian, Alex Mandossian. That's not a name that I recall in all of my research that I did before. It was really interesting though when I first started covering all this kind of stuff. Once you start like going down this rabbit hole and really diving into all this crap, it's pretty insane the amount of shit you're gonna see, right? Like the connections and everything else, it was mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. You know, 14% of you don't think that she's gonna get laughed out of court. I mean, I hope that she does. I hope that this is one of those situations where the judge looks at it and says, you don't get squat. But if they don't know enough about the situation, then who knows? Again, it's really going to be up to whether or not the judge takes her seriously or not. And I don't know how anybody could. I really don't. I mean, hell, look at Daniel Penny, that guy from the subway from last year who was let off on both charges, acquitted on one, and they couldn't come to a decision on the other. The video of Anita Sarkeesian endorsing an internet get rich quick guru called Alex Mandozian. Why is this significant? Oh, that's from 10 years ago from the Kotaku in Action Reddit. No, I don't want to log into Reddit. Here's Alex Mandozian teaching people how to use cognitive dissonance to make the herd follow you. Oh. Wow. Okay, that's pretty crazy. Let me see. Surprised to hear some of the old names today. Stalin funding the unions back in the day to take over the movie industry. Well, again, Susano, that's the thing. It's like
that I stoked
public figures, provided it is all information that is publicly available, there's not much you can do. I've said before, and I don't think Smash did any of the sharing of her address when it got leaked out there and all this other stuff. And somebody took her sister's name and made a website with her sister's name as the domain name, right? So again, there's been a lot of shitty stuff people have done just to like get back at her. Stuff that I couldn't care less about. I disavow and have no interest in getting in the middle of. But it's all been a byproduct of her making herself the center of attention and making herself the story and intentionally poking the bear. It's like you cannot provoke people this many times intentionally and then go screaming and crying wolf when you start getting slapped around. Like, especially online. It's like, hey, what's that thing about, I'm getting bullied online? It's like, dude, put the phone down and walk away.
Harassment among my followers with the intent to harm Mercante's life and livelihood. This claim is as baseless as it is inflammatory, stretching the definition of liability to absurd extremes. And then you read through more of this and you see how they're citing sources from Wikipedia as their source for truth. Grums on Twitter said, "What lawsuit cites Wikipedia as a source? You're not even allowed to cite that in high school papers. Clown lawsuit versus Smash JT. Credit where..."
I want to go back and find the actual, I want to look at the website of this law firm that's representing Alyssa. Let me see if I can find it real quick. All right, so it is from... No, that doesn't have it on there. Hang on. I'm really trying to avoid actually using the link that she has. Just insane. You missed when that look was a 2000 Raver thing. Oh, but oh my god! I just realized the spot that I paused this at. This is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, no, honestly, there's a lot of trends that used to exist that might have been like kind of cool and edgy back in the day. Now it's just like, dude, you look like a clown. It's pathetic. I just had to scroll past her ass again. But Alyssa, put some pants on, please. Here we go. J. Remy Green. That's the name of one of these attorneys. Let me see if I can find it. J. Remy Green. Wait. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, hang on. Might have found something interesting. From Lavender Law, from the National LGBTQ plus Bar Association. What? Is a partner at law firm Cohen and Green. Okay, let's look up Cohen and Green. No, I'm not going to dox myself. Stop showing all my shit. Wait a second. Check this out. Why do I not have my my dark mode extension on? It's not on. There we go. Much better on the eyes. J. Remy Green is a queer trans lawyer who lawyers, writes, rants, looks fabulous, and the views expressed here are Remy's own and do not reflect those of anyone else. Taking stock of Bostic, reactions on the right. So, they, them, Z, zer hasn't written for Medium since 2020, it looks like. Do Republicans have a political philosophy? Answer: nope. I mean, years ago I might have agreed with this person. 2018 Liberation, a picture of them with their cat. Some brief thoughts on second-order discrimination and the business case for diversity. This person is insane. Like, might legitimately be insane. Dear Donnie's subject matter waiver and why your lawyers need lawyers, and why you... Donald Trump probably just lost the benefit of attorney-client privilege. This is from 2017. That didn't age well. Oh my god. Okay, let me see here. What else? Hope we're finally seeing the end of woke. This entire timeline has sucked. Gayer Marilyn Manson. There you go. They always have cats. They always have some sort of animal that they get like validation and everything about. Let me see here though. So here you go. Cohen and Green from their actual website. Oh, well, that makes sense. It is a queer law firm. Dude. Oh my god. Okay. All right. CNG. Queer as in we are human beings. Attorneys. Elena L. Cohen. Honorifics. Doctor and professor. She, her, hers. Okay. That's definitely a biological female. Unless my eyes are deceiving me. If that's this person here in the middle, pass as well as a woman if it's not really a woman. Attorney, PhD, and activist. Oh, yes, guys, that's what you want. Every time you hire a lawyer, the first thing you want in your lawyer's bio on their website is that they're an activist. Received her JD from Benjamin Cardozo School of Law. These women are going to get, well, 2 women at least and 1 man. Maybe 1 woman, 1.5 women. I can't really tell. Graduate Center of the City University of New York. President of the National Lawyers Guild. Again, that doesn't mean anything. Criminal defense is her legal practice. Primarily of those arrested for protest-related activity. Holy crap. Creating and selling estates for people who die as a result of police or correctional officer misconduct. Civil rights litigation. She has published articles such as Divided in Theory, United in Practice, The American Perspective on the Interface Between Politics and the... Her areas of expertise include sexuality, non-human animals, and comparative constitutional law. What? She can be reached at ellen@femlaw.com. Femlaw. Oh my god. Then, of course, we have Remy Green. Which I'm sure their Zera's bio is going to be fantastic. You want your legal documents to look like a unicorn shadow over it. Hey, Mahendra. Writer role-playing as a lawyer. They're all activists. They're all activists, okay? Might be more of a critical theory push for her. I don't know. Again, you probably have more of a... at least a background, because I didn't watch a ton of the Johnny Depp, what's her ass? The gal that shot the bed. Court case. So I am not one of these like massive LawTube watchers, but this is just insane. Yeah, an Antifa lawyer. They're basically trust fund kids to much richer parents. No normal person could afford to do something so useless. Yeah, no. So Remy Green's a partner, and they specialize in civil rights, defamation, free speech. So this is the defamation lawyer. This person here, Remy, is the one that's their defamation lawyer. When they can, imagine going to a law firm. Amber Heard, thank you. Amber Turd, I should remember that. Imagine going to a law firm, and you are going there to try to hire somebody to defend you in court or to go after somebody else who's wronged you. And the first thing you read is that they refer to themselves by they. Not because there's more than one of them, but because they don't want to be the gender that they were born. Absolutely insane people. Imagine being so far gone to need to sue some random gaming YouTuber. Yeah, pretty much. That's, well, the thing about it is, she has said it herself. This is her, and like I said, David Jaffe said the same thing. David Jaffe, God of War creator, who went and spazzed out last few weeks. He went out of his way to say, if I can just pick up the crumbs from YouTubers like Smash JT and Hypnotic and all them, then I can just build my own YouTube channel. That's all he wanted, right? Well, Alyssa's doing the same thing because she's trying to be a Twitch streamer now that she got shit canned from Kotaku. So she's trying to use all of this as fodder for her Twitch streams because she has nothing else of value to offer. She knows she's too old to compete on the sites like OnlyFans. Presumably, I imagine she doesn't want to go back to sex work, even though she previously tweeted out several years ago that she might as well go back to sex work where she gets paid to get effed, which is, again, her own words. These were tweets that she actually tweeted, things that I wrote with my own two eyes. God help if the person you wronged is a woman or trans. Are you sure you want to go ahead with this case given your white privilege? Well, here's the thing. These people at this law firm, Chinatsky, would not represent any normal, straight, heterosexual male that was being sued by a woman. They probably wouldn't. They would. I guarantee they would not take the case. They want their lawyer to reflect their values, and a lot of them will take advantage of that fact. Yeah, 100%. So, oh my God, these people are not serious people. Holy shit. When they can, Remy gravitates towards cases that present novel or untested legal theories. Remy, or if you're feeling formal, Mix Green, MX Green, okay? They can't even go by Mr. or Miss or anything somewhat professional on their own bio on their website. Has argued in brief cases before courts at every level, ranging from small claims to the Second Circuit Federal Court of Appeals. Their legal scholarship has appeared on the Syracuse Law Review. Rutgers Law, blah, 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 various essays, forthcoming. Oh my God, Remy has a forthcoming full-length book. Shocker. Guest lecturer and adjunct professor at the Boston University School of Law. This person is a adjunct professor at a law school. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. God. If you want to talk about Remy, their pronouns are they, their, and them. And their honorific is Mix, pronounced like Mix. Ooh, my God. Jessica. Okay, so essentially what we're looking at here is, I assume, two biological women who are, again, leftist lunatics, who are these same women who are probably screeching feminists, but then they bring in a biological male into their spaces and don't care that these men are, erasing women's only spaces. They're just going to feel like, they're doing the right thing by bringing this dude in and parading him around like some sort of like centerpiece trophy for them or something. They're serious, which is the terrifying part. Yeah. Yeah, it's disgusting, Susano. It's completely, absolutely unhinged behavior by these people. I just can't even. Counsel to Cohen and Green. Jessica has a longstanding commitment to civil rights litigation. Again, they're all activists. She focuses on issues which impact vulnerable and marginalized New Yorkers. So, women and non-white people, such as police misconduct, employment discrimination, and housing court issues. These people are worse than ambulance chasers. She includes representing plaintiffs in situations where they've been sexually harassed or discriminated against due to gender, age, religion, orientation, gender identity, race, or national origin. They can't even spell on their own bios. This person's a lawyer. Okay. In situations where they've been harassed, discriminated against due to gender, age, religion, orientation, gender identity, race, national original. Oh boy, I want a lawyer who can't proofread. That's what I want. Pregnancy or disability. Jessica's particularly proud of her record in achieving substantial settlements for her clients even before litigation. Well, guess what? You're going to settle this one real fast, okay? She has substantial experience litigating excessive force cases. They're all Antifa attorneys, is all they are. Oh my god. Jessica was voted a super lawyer, rising star in the area of civil rights litigation from 2016 to 2020. A super lawyer, is that a thing? Proud member of the National Police Accountability Project. He's the immediate past president of the Civil Rights Section of the SDNY Federal Bar Association. Admitted to the bar in New York State, has substantial experience litigating cases in the Bronx. Oh my god, there's more. There's more. Moira Meltzer Cohen of counsel, honorifics, Miss Mix, she, they. Good God. Oh my god. Moira Cohen's vision of the relationship between law and justice is shaped by their commitment to radical social movements. I don't think we even need more of this. I don't even think we need to, like, this just goes, it's just, even their law clerk goes by her pronouns on here. Oh my god. People are insane. I hope this gets laughed out of court because this is just, like, how do these people have a job? In all honesty, how do they have a job? What is this? Thy will be done. What is this? $100 per participant. Evening includes informational sessions with Q&A, printed material on agency documents, and a completed healthcare proxy. Cost will be credited towards end-of-life legal services suite. What the hell is this? Moira writes, a couple years ago I wrote a short piece about the ways in which my own queerness and love of queer people shaped my desire to create agency documents for my community. These... Oh, man. Imagine waking up in the morning and not having anything to think about in your daily life but being queer and queerness and promoting queerness. How are these people, like, functioning human beings? They must be a riot at parties, right? Like, that's your first time seeing a mixed pronoun? It's my first time seeing somebody use it seriously. I've seen it before. All right, Blu-ray, take it easy. I'll probably be off of here soon. I've seen people do that, but, like, dad was the lawyer in the family, didn't know super lawyers was a real thing. I'm gonna say for most professional attorneys, it's not a real, I would imagine. Yeah, no, I don't think it's a real thing. I can't imagine it is. But yeah, we have to see a few of these things. So, on top of everything else, we talked about this before. This Kate Bush's husband account, this dude who's basically like an Antifa LARPer, if you will, apparently is tweeting things like, sue Hypnotic next so we can get his real name. Now again, Alyssa is not responsible for whatever this idiot decides to tweet out. Again, I don't believe that people can coerce or force other people to tweet things, so this guy is making his own choices. This is the same guy who was all excited about the fact that on page 7, you have the legal documents showing this man's address, right? Same guy that has a Discord server full of people who make violent memes, murdering grums with hammers and stuff. Same guy who also advocated for Endymion to allegedly get ended by being beat to death by hammers. So this is a guy that's a complete psychopath. And here he is trying to encourage somebody to sue Hypnotic so that they can get his real name. Just sick people. Absolutely sick. Yeah. Socrates picked Hemlock over being banished because it was more drawn out and painful death. No lawyer worth their salt could afford to go after such a limited legal practice. I don't even understand what they think they're going to accomplish with all this. Like, so before, when Alyssa sent the cease and desist, it was through this person who wasn't even a practicing lawyer at the firm that he sent it from, right? He sent this legal letterhead with his cease and desist letter, and it basically got thrown out because, you know, Ron Coleman's like pissed off with this joke. Well, now she has retained this law firm, but they're all activists. Yeah, no, she's fine doing that, Mahendra. That's the thing. She thinks it's totally cool to do that. But we're gonna just unfortunately play this for you guys because I have to mute it because I think there's copyrighted music in it. This is what essentially she is doing now. So remember, Alyssa Mercante is the victim. She's being harassed. She's being attacked, stalked, losing her job, money, everything else because of the actions of other people online. That's what she claims. An Umbrella Guy says, did she really use a song calling someone the P word? I don't know. It's some rap song, I don't know, but apparently that's a thing. This is this 34, 35-year-old woman celebrating the fact that she filed a lawsuit, okay?
Bible of God watching.
Yeah, I gotta mute this. You hope the judge isn't a leftist? Well, good luck with that. It's New York.
The only one that gets.
Yeah, so I was giving Zach over at MetaPC's crap earlier today because he did a commercial that was really funny, but it was really cringe. And I'm like, dude, I just died of secondhand embarrassment. I don't know what is wrong with this woman. Clearly, she doesn't understand that Gen Z doesn't find her interesting. They don't find her relatable or likable. They're laughing at her too. The difference is they might agree on politics or like the way they view the world or something or ideology when it comes to gender and stuff. Her body's like 50s. Well, nah, she looks her age. I'd say she looks her age, right? I don't know, Susano. Honestly, I don't know the song. I'm not going to pretend to know it. I don't care. What I find cringe is the fact that she goes out here and says, when you finally file a landmark lawsuit against a gamergator who defamed and harassed you, you've been working on for months. She went and hired the biggest joke of a law firm you could ever imagine. Like, we just went through the bios of these women and non-women. Your male gaze doesn't activate with this nastiness? Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Go back, if you go back to seeing pictures of Alyssa Mercante before she went, like, completely unhinged leftist, she was just a nice-looking woman. Nothing remarkable, but she looked feminine. She looked nice. Okay? She has since gone complete, nose ring, short hair, activist type. Female soy face dance, basically Natsuno. And I don't, like... There aren't enough words to describe how painful this is to watch. It's reminding me of, like, I watched all the episodes of The Office. Michael Scott thinking he's cool, thinking he's, like, part of the group or dancing, thinking he's, like, actually hot shit. Not realizing that he's the joke the entire time. That's what I see here. That's what this reminds me of. Oh, man. So, yeah. This is going to be interesting. I'm very curious to see what happens tomorrow after he speaks to Ron Coleman. So I'm assuming that he'll have an update video and all that tomorrow as well. So in the meantime, just real quick recap. Physical mental illness. It's causing me to have some sort of illness, buddy. Watch this real quick. Let me just bring up on Twitter. Let me grab this and find it. I'd rather just kind of go through a quick summary of what's going on with Gothic Therapy and Sweet Baby Inc. because they've been covering I gotta master the TPS. They've been covering a lot of this going on with Sweet Baby Inc. behind the scenes. And I guess they got a copyright strike or a copyright claim from somebody at the PAL group, which now works with Sweet Baby Inc. and of course I believe works with Taku as well. Oh hey, he got subscribers finally. It only took like is it too much to hope she gets countersued into oblivion? I mean, Mahendra. Oh, let me see here. So they got emailed by somebody who's a relative of a Sweet Baby Inc. Employee, asking them to censor their last video. People apparently think that they were making this whole thing up. Here. So let's go back to the very beginning of this. This goes back to about 2 days ago, I think. Oh, sorry, this happened a week ago. So they made a video talking about the PAL group, Sweet Baby Inc., and I guess this drag queen game that was connected to all this stuff, and they got copyright struck. Since then, they've had people reach out to them from Sweet Baby Inc. They've found this game Zix we talked about on Monday. That's like this VR game, and now they're actually having people from Sweet Baby Inc. or relatives of them contact them. And all this around the same time that Alyssa's filing her lawsuit. That's why I found it very interesting that we have all this kind of happening at the same time. Boomer judge listening to this woman explain why she's suing a gamergator for online harassment. Dude would be like, what? Dude, honestly, just show the judge that TikTok video. Show the judge that video of her dancing. That alone would be enough to throw the entire thing out. Because she's not taking any of it seriously. You're talking about somebody who doesn't know how to act her age, never grew up, doesn't realize that professional people don't act this way, and is unfortunately making an ass out of herself. She has no case. Let me see here. They support people with substance abuse. At least that's what AI said about Powell, not Powell Group. Powell, I think it's spelled. It's this group that's buying up media companies and game stuff, but it's connected to Sweet Baby because they're actually funding it now. Judge is going to be a boomer. Most likely. The judge, like I said, the judge is going to start reading that first line of that document and go, what the hell's Gamergate? And why are we talking about video games? It'll be very interesting. You know, Susano, check out the Powell Group. They are, like I said, it was discovered that they were actually working with Sweet Baby Inc. A few months ago because they're, I guess, funding them now or partially connected financially. But it's really weird because they also bought Humble Bundle, which was doing like game publishing and stuff too. This Powell Group has a lot of weird connections, and they, I guess, were the ones who were partially responsible for the copyright strike against Gothic Therapy. So a lot of weird things happening all at the same time. That's why I thought it was really interesting to like connect it all together. Powell World Group. No, not Powell World. No, they got their own problems. I think it's spelled like Powell. All right, guys, I gotta hit the hay. Reading them over. Yeah, it's an interesting read. Check them out. See how they're connected. Actually, I saw that they had some partnerships or connections with Kotaku as well. Can't verify that myself without doing more investigating. Yeah, they secretly own SBI, or at least fund them now. Yeah. No, Twitch is I mean, honestly, for her to start like trying to do a streaming career, Twitch is the wrong way to go. That company, give it a year. They'll be purchased by somebody besides Amazon or shut down completely. All right, guys, I'm hitting the hay. I gotta get some sleep. Gonna try to get back to normal schedule tomorrow, get some videos out tomorrow night. And in the meantime, take it easy. Appreciate you guys for being here. Hopefully things work out for Smash. I'm kind of hoping that Ron Coleman comes back with a good response, that they can get the judge to toss this thing out on its face. But in the meantime, guys, I'm going to hit the hay. Take it easy. I will catch you guys on Friday night. We'll be playing probably, I don't want to do more stalker